Hello everyone, welcome to my biography on one of the most famed aviators in world history, Amelia Earhart. Why is she so important? Why is she still remembered to this day? What did she do? All these questions will be answered in my biography on the legend herself. Enjoy. On this day, July 24th, 124 years ago in 1897, at this quaint house in the historic town of Atchison, Kansas, Amelia Earhart was born. Amelia Mary Earhart to Samuel E. Earhart, a lawyer and railroad worker, and her namesake mother, Amelia or Amy O. Earhart, who I couldn't find anything on. Earhart would go to elementary school here. Moving forward. In 1909, Earhart, at the age of 12, would move with her family to Des Moines, Iowa, since her father's railroad company moved him there. Here, she would see her first airplane at a state fair. Later in life, Earhart would recount about it, quote, "It was a thing of rusty wire and wood. It looked not at all interesting," end quote. Amelia would go to several more schools in Des Moines, Iowa, St. Paul, Minnesota, and Springfield, Illinois. While in St. Paul during 1913, Amelia's life just flat out turned upside down. Her grandma died, and worst of all, her father became a loony drunk. As a result, Amelia's mother would dump her father in Springfield, Illinois, and move the remaining 3 people of the family to Chicago, Illinois. In 1916, Earhart graduated from Hyde Park High School in Chicago. After graduating, she went to Rydal, Pennsylvania to attend a, quote, finishing school known as Ogont School. She dropped out shortly after and became a military nurse for wounded World War I soldiers in Toronto, Canada. Later, in about 1918, Earhart went to an air show in Toronto. While there, Amelia was tased by a stunt pilot. However, she didn't care about him. She cared about the plane, which would stick in her memory. In 1920, Amelia Earhart moved into this house in Los Angeles since her parents got back together. On December 28th of that same year, Earhart went to an air show with her father in Long Beach, where she would ride in an airplane. She later recounted, quote, "By the time I got in 200 or 300 feet off the ground, I knew I had to fly," end quote. Speaking of flying, on January 3rd, 1921, Earhart took her first flying lesson with aviatress Netta Snook. Amelia would earn her license courtesy of NASA, weird, on December 15th of that year. Now, for Amelia, the sky was open. In summer of 1921, Earhart bought her first plane, which she would name the Canary. With it on October 22nd, 1922, Earhart set an unofficial record for the highest altitude ever reached by a solo female pilot, 14,000 feet. In May of 1923, the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, or the FAI, gave her an international pilot's license, becoming the 16th woman to ever get one. In 1924, Earhart took a break from flying since her parents divorced once and for all. She would eventually move to Boston to teach English at Denison House to immigrants from places like Germany, China, and Syria. Amelia Earhart's break from flying would end from June 17th to 18th of 1922, when she joined pilot Wilmer Stoltz on a plane called the Friendship. They would fly from Newfoundland, now in Canada, to Wales, making Earhart the first female passenger to fly across the Atlantic. Amelia gained a lot of fame, although she didn't want it for this reason. She said, quote, "I was just baggage, like a sack of potatoes." In August of 1929, Earhart bought her second plane, this Lockheed Vega. She would use it too on July 5th of 1930, reached the highest speed of any female pilot at this time, 181 miles per hour. Later on February 7th of 1931, Earhart, after rejecting his 6 proposals, married her husband George Putnam, an important publisher. On May 21st, 1932, Earhart became the first woman to fly across the Atlantic, making her a celebrity. On August 25th of 1932, Earhart became the first woman to fly across the North American continent, that is, fly across it and back. She would do this twice, and meet First Lady of the U.S. Eleanor Roosevelt at the White House in 1933. From January to May of 1935, Earhart would set 3 more records, becoming the first woman to fly from Honolulu to Oakland, to fly from Los Angeles to Mexico City, and Mexico City to New York City. You can tell she liked her records. However, Earhart wasn't satisfied yet. She was about to try the unthinkable, to become the first pilot to fly around the world. In July of 1936, Earhart would be given her third most iconic and final plane by Purdue University, her Lockheed Electra, which she dubbed the Flying Laboratory due to Purdue wanting her to do science stuff with it partially. On March 17, 1937, Earhart, her co-pilot Fred Noonan, and two others took off from Oakland to fly to Honolulu, the first leg on their flight around the world. However, her plane had weird internal gravitational issues and part of the front broke off, so she had to pull the plug after getting back to Honolulu. Anyways, finally, the day has come. After flying back to the U.S. on May 20th, 1937, Earhart and Noonan took off from Oakland, California to begin their second attempt at circumnavigating the world, this time going east. Here is my comprehensive map of their entire route. It took me 2 hours to make this, so I'd appreciate it if you like this video. Anyways, on July 2nd, 1937, Earhart departed Lae in Papua New Guinea to fly to the remote Howland Island, a territory of the U.S. While flying a few miles away from it, Earhart at 8:43 a.m. sent a radio transmission. In it, she said, quote, "On the line 157-337 running north and south." After that, she and Noonan were never seen or heard from again. Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan are widely believed to have crashed into the Pacific Ocean, somewhere, as many believe this photo shows part of her plane sticking out of the nearby Nikumaroro Island in the Marshall Islands. However, there have been many theories on how Earhart disappeared. Some say she crashed into Nikumaroro Island and were eaten by the island's monstrous coconut crabs. This thing is the largest crustacean and arthropod that spends its adult life on land. This thing can crack your skull with its pincers. Yeah, don't touch that thing with a 10-foot pole. On that island, here's the big shocker. Some bones were found. And in 1940, the person examining them, this idiot named Dr. D.W. Hoodless, just flat out burned them, hence destroying what very likely could have been Earhart's bones. If we never find Earhart or what happened to her, this man could be blamed. And of course, others say, aliens. No matter what happened to Earhart, she will never be forgotten for her hundreds of achievements, records, and contributions to the world of aviation. And with that, that was my biography on the life of Amelia Earhart. News time. Just like Amelia Earhart, I'm also going to have to disappear for a while, just not forever. I'm currently fixing my computer's swollen battery, plus I'll be on vacation for a while, so I'm not going to be able to upload until mid-August. So stay tuned, it'll probably be a few weeks until I can upload. I've been uploading on this channel for 2 years straight without a single break, so it's been a little draining, but anyways, expect another video in mid-August. I'm sorry about the delay and the hiatus I'll be on. I don't know what the next video will be, but stay tuned because my next video will be in mid to late August. Thanks for watching.